Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, for your entertainment enjoyment, I'm going to demonstrate to you the difference between science and magic. Now, they're both very wondrous and amazing things, but there is a difference, and I'd like to show you that now. Nothing here, and nothing here. For this little experiment, we'll need 1, 2, 3 cups spun of the finest silver, and a magic wand. This was a gift from my grandfather. He was a great magician. Every time he walked down the street, he turned into a bar. But seriously, if I told the scientists that there was a little invisible ball floating up in the air, they would never believe that, unless the little ball became visible. Then they might believe in magic. Now, any scientist will tell you that one solid object cannot penetrate through another solid object, that it's impossible. However, this is not science. This is magic. Now, speaking of the impossible, if I take the little ball and place it in my pocket and hold it in there so it can't get away, and then take my empty hand and place it over this cup, would it be a good trick if when I removed my hand, that little ball was sitting on top of the cup? Come on, would it be a good trick? I don't do that trick. But don't be disappointed. I actually do a better trick than that. The great scientist Albert Einstein told us that energy and matter are exactly the same thing. So what a magician might do is reach out into the air and grab a little ball of energy, place it under the cup. Reach out and grab another little red ball of energy, place that under the cup, and then a third little ball of energy and place it under the cup number 3. And then you would grab some magical powder, sprinkle it on the cups, and the little balls of energy would become solid spheres of matter. It's just a question of mind over matter. I've lost my mind, but it doesn't matter. I'm now going to make these balls disappear. Should I do it separately, individually, or one at a time? I'm glad you said that. Ball number 1 is like a ghost fading through the walls of an old castle. Ball number 2 is like a mirage shimmering on the sands of the Sahara. It just seems to melt away. Now, I have a scientist friend that does the trick a little differently, and he performed it for me like this. First, we take some atomic particles and we sprinkle them like so. That creates a highly charged energy field. Then we take some heat. And alakazam. I said, nicely done, Dr. Frankenstein. Of course, as the magician, it's my job to make the little balls reappear. Now, these little balls are kind of sneaky and they're kind of playful. They actually like to play hide and seek. You get the idea. But I found that if I did a little tippity tap, they become invisible to the naked eye. Of course, you've heard that balls of a feather flock together. I was once doing this at a scientist convention, and one of them raised his hand and said, I know how you do it. The hand is quicker than the eye. I said, well, that must be true. Otherwise, you'd never see anybody with a black eye. But I'm going to do it in slow motion so that all cheating would be fair. A cup and a ball, a cup and a ball, and a cup and a ball. And notice that at no time do my hands leave my wrists. Well, even he had to admit that was fair. I said, but to make it even more easy to follow, I'm going to take one of the balls and get rid of it. In fact, I'll get rid of this ball as well, and we'll just use the one under the center cup. But if I snap over here, a ball comes back. If I snap over here, a ball comes back. That should just leave one under the center. Of course, it never does. Wouldn't be any kind of a trick if it did. So that's 1, 2, and 3 balls. The juggling took me years to master. But I have a confession to make. I was using an extra red ball. but it's kind of hard to see. Well, that one I knew where it was the whole time. I just never could figure out where that one came from, or that one for that matter. And usually at this point, the whole trick goes sour.